15 amazing isolated homes. Number 15. Villa Belza. This crazy castle was built by an actual knight. Ange du Fresnay lived from 1839 to 1900, and he built this house for his wife in 1880. The house still stands, and it is now one of the Biarritz, France landmarks. He named the castle Villa Belza after his wife Belza Dubray. Number 14. Catski Pillar. This isolated house can be found in Georgia, the country, not the state. It's located on top of a natural rock pillar 130 feet in the air. The house was originally a church, but it was abandoned because of the extreme height. The old monastery was restored during 2005 to 2009 because of funding from the National Agency of Cultural Heritage Preservation of Georgia. With enough money and a tremendous amount of bravery, this could still be made into a house. Some life insurance might be a good idea though. Number 13. Elita Island House. This beautiful isolated island paradise is located in a cluster of islands at Iceland's southern point. The lone house was built in 1953 when the island was abandoned because of its remote location. The house stands as a hunting cottage now. The lodge is owned by the Elita Hunting Association, and it is used because of its premium location for puffin hunting. The house lacks all modern amenities like electricity and water, but it does have a sauna. Nobody is allowed to stay in the retreat except for members of the hunting association and close friends. That might be just the reason to catfish a member, although I don't recommend it. Number 12. Just room enough. The Thousand Islands sits in the St. Lawrence River that borders Canada and the US, depending on who you ask. This itsy bitsy island can be found in one country or the other. One of the many islands is named the Just Room Enough Island, and it houses a single house and tree. This house would be perfect if you just really hated neighbors. When the tide is high on the lake, the river can reach up to the walls of the house, which makes this house difficult to live in. It's not bad for a summer home though. Number 11. Hofskirkja Turf Church. No, this isn't a screen grab from one of the Tolkien movies. This is one of the last remaining turf buildings in Iceland. Turf buildings were popular at the end of the 18th century because they shielded the occupants from the harsh Icelandic winters. The remaining turf houses have to be tended to carefully because of the erratic weather in Iceland can easily destroy them. The church is still practicing and the grounds are maintained by the National Museum of Iceland. The museum protects 6 different churches in the country because of their special and unique qualities. Number 10. Solveig Hut. Whenever a house can be found at more than 13,000 feet above the ground, you know that is gonna be awesome. The Solveig Hut lies at just that height on the northeastern ridge of the Matterhorn. The hut is only supposed to be used in emergency situations, and it can only hold 10 people at a time. We probably don't want to know what happens when that is exceeded. The hut was first built in 1915, which was 50 years after the first ascension to the peak of the mountain. The hut holds 10 beds, and it also has a radio telephone. Number 9. Floating House. This provides a completely new interpretation of the concept of a boathouse. This 2-story house lies on the Canadian side of Lake Huron. The house has a pontoon base, which is a flotation device that is more commonly used on boats. The house will float along the surface of the water with the changing water levels having no effect. Both the levels of the house can be accessed using bridges connecting to the nearby land. The house currently functions as a summer house for a couple. Number 8. Fogell Art Studios. These beautiful modern buildings can be found on Fogell Island, Newfoundland. They're not technically homes though. It's a residency-based art studio. The design and remote location are meant to encourage artistic exploration for pretty much any form of art. The Fogell Island Art Group was founded in 2008, and the artists in residence are encouraged to do research at the locations. They also hold galleries for some of the more lucky, talented artists. These beautiful buildings will certainly have no trouble inspiring creativity in anyone. Number 7. Jarson Residence. This isolated desert paradise is, funnily enough, located in Paradise Valley, Arizona. It was built in 2007 for 2 real estate agents and their sons. The house was designed to be a vessel of personal discovery for the owners. Despite the modern appearance of the house, it is actually made out of weathered steel and copper, so the house can blend in with the desert landscape. The house contains a gallery for the owner's art collection, as well as a music chamber and potter's studio. Number 6. Soleta ZeroEnergy. This picturesque home is perfect for the eco-minded introvert. Soleta ZeroEnergy One is a home prototype that was built in the company's home country of Romania. It was developed by the Justin Capra Foundation, and it is run completely on clean energy. The house even has a feature that allows it to be controlled via smartphone. The home is affordable and versatile because it can be used as a single home, an office, or a vacation home. It is also made entirely from natural, locally sourced materials. Number 5. Cliff House. This crazy house has a very appropriate name of Cliff House. It is located in Victoria, Australia, and it's got 5 stories that climb down the side of a cliff. It has 3 rooms, an elevator, and a spa. The house is suspended over the ocean by steel pins built into the cliffside. The house was designed by Modscape and it is completely one of a kind, which isn't really that surprising. A spokesperson from the company said that the design of the house was inspired by the way that barnacles cling to the side of a ship. The house is entered through a garage at the top of the cliff that descends all the way down through the floors of the houses. This house shouldn't be owned by anyone with a fear of heights, but that view sure is amazing. Number 4. Tubular House. This soup can-shaped house was built by the architect Richard Carbonnier so that he could live in the ice-cold tundra of the Baffin Island in Canada. The shape of the building was not only designed to withstand the winds, but also hold heat inside. Carbonnier said that the building was made to do as little damage to the ground as possible because growth in the environment is very slow. Because he would touch a tool and it would immediately freeze to his hand. Since the house cost just $260,000 to build and it is ecologically friendly, he hopes that similar houses will be built in the near future. Number 3. Lake Muskoka Treehouse. Do you love the Swiss Family Robinson? Are you okay with living in a small amount of space? Well, then this treehouse is for you. It hangs in the trees around the bank of Lake Muskoka, Ontario. The house is thoughtfully built so that it doesn't disrupt the growth of any of the surrounding trees or the trees it is built on. The house was built around the base of 4 existing trees. The architects of the house worked closely with arborists to preserve the trees supporting the house. In the end, the solution that they found was a single high-strength steel cable hung from each tree to support the house. The single cable minimizes the impact on each individual tree and will not stunt the tree's growth. Number 2. The Crystal Mill. Built in 1892, this power plant sits above the Crystal River in Colorado. The house actually once functioned as a compressor station where a wind turbine was used to fuel an air compressor. The air compressor would have been used to power tools and other machinery. The mill closed down in 1917, along with the local mine, but the picturesque quality of the mill has made it one of Colorado's most photographed sites. The mill is on the National Register of Historic Places, and it has been there since 1985. You can only photograph it from afar though. The house is privately owned, and the owners don't allow visitors. That's probably a good choice because it looks like it would collapse whenever anyone steps foot in it. Number 1. Chess Pavilion. Welcome to the most dangerous game of chess you will ever play. Mount Huashan is one of the 5 great mountains of China, and it is also regarded to be the most dangerous hike ever. Much of the hike is done on a small ledge that can hang hundreds of feet in the air. Reinforcements have only been added recently because of the popularity it gained with tourists. The mountain has been considered holy since the 2nd century BC, and originally the ledge was just a series of wooden boards stuck along the side of the mountain with exposed nails. Because of all of this, the mountain has gained a reputation for being deadly. If you reach the peak, you will be treated to this out-of-place chess pavilion with stunning views of the mountains that almost killed you. Now you have to climb back down. Enjoy!
For better.